Hello everybody and welcome back to Mimus. This is our second episode over on the moon of Saturn and our oxygen tank is low. You gotta love that timing, huh? Hey everybody, welcome back to Mimus, the moon of Saturn. It is our second episode over here and things are coming along really nicely. We put together this little starter base in the first episode and it's actually pretty well established. Now you may notice a couple of new things and that's just because I did a tiny bit of work off camera, mostly putting together a tool printer so that I could make some more paint. So we could get a nice red paint for our hydrogen, some green paint for our nitrous, and some orange paint for our fuel line. That's right, that's all I've done, nothing else really all that fancy. Did a little bit of extra mining so we didn't have to watch me do that so much this time, and also got some more gas in these tanks. We've got about, let me check here, 8 megapascals, of hydrogen. That's pretty good actually, and we got absolutely no nitrous left because I've already mixed it all. We got 2 megapascals in the fuel line and a comfy 9 megapascals of pressure in the tank. Excellent. We can actually go ahead and swap this out to the old one. And in fact, you know what? Let's charge up our light here too.
Power low.
Alright, but the thing I want to start with today, before I get to all your comments, is alloys. We need to make some advanced ingots so we can start producing more advanced components. We will need steel for most of it, but let's get this out of the way. We now have our fuel mixing working, we have our drainage working. We don't have a cold gas line, unfortunately, which does complicate this slightly, but we can still make it work. We need to make Constantin first. That is going to be 20 megapascals of pressure, between 20 and 100, as well as between 1,000 and 100,000 Kelvin. The temperature ranges on this are really generous, actually. We currently have over 1,000 Kelvin and over 1,000 pressure, so why don't we, or over 20 megapascals of pressure, sorry. So why don't we just go ahead and make some Constantin real quick. Nickel and copper in a 1-to-1 ratio will work, and I think we probably just lost temperature. No, that will actually make Constantin. Let's make an ingot, and let's do it again. Yes, there we go. Okay, 200 grams of delicious Constantin. We can split across machines, and now we need to make Invar. Okay, let's have a quick look at our requirements. Invar is the real pain in the ass here. We need to get between 18 megapascals and 20, as well as between 1.2k Kelvin and 1.5k Kelvin, which is that is a lot of that is a lot of precision that's needed here. It's another ratio of 1 iron to 1 nickel. It's very straightforward, so I've gone ahead and preloaded 100 of each. It'll give us a 200 stack of Invar once we get it. So we need to push the temperature up and take the pressure down. Let's start with the temperature, and then we can worry about the pressure. So we're going to pump in some fuel. We're going to ignite it. The pressure has skyrocketed. Let's pump out some of that pressure here. It's currently combusting, so we're going to rain fire down on the base, but in very low pressures. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. Let's drop that down to 20 megapascals of pressure. Hey, excellent. Okay. Now we can just wait here for this to cool down. But I think another thing we could do here is actually just pop this open, grab the unreacted reagent, and we could just smelt something else to cool it down a little and push the pressure back up. So why don't we run some gold through it real quick. That'll also provide some oxygen, which should help with the temperature control. We are currently about to hit the correct temperature threshold. We just need a little bit more pressure. I think another gold smelt will do it. Let's run that through. There we go. We are climbing rapidly. 17 megapascals. Almost, I think, hold on, if we just do the briefest little burst of fuel, maybe we can get it here. Oh. Oh. A little bit more. There we go. There we go. Climb. Climb, you fool. Hit one of those, see if we can ignite it. The temperature is fine. It's just the pressure we need. And I think putting our reagent back in will give us the pressure. So let's do that. And this is already mixed at a perfect ratio. Just need a tiny bit more pressure again. What's the easiest way to do this? It's going to be to add a bit more gas, but I don't want to add flammable gas. We want to add normal gas. So why don't we quickly just go grab... as long as it doesn't react, it doesn't matter. So what do we have a surplus of over here? We have a surplus of oxide. Excellent. Let's just chuck some oxide in there. That'll push the pressure up. and it will not react any further because there's nothing to burn. Come on. Temperature's a little bit concerning. I think we have to push in a tiny bit more fuel. There we go. Temperature and pressure are climbing. Excellent. Let's put in some more oxide. Come on. Come on. Another 200 kilopascals. Yes, there it is. Okay, we made Invar. Whew. A bit of a pain without automation, but that is okay. We won't need much more of that for a while. Lovely. Next up on the agenda is silver. So in order to make the silver, we need to do a similar burn. Oh, sorry, not silver. We need to make electrum using silver. This stuff right here. 800 kilopascals to 2.4 megapascals, so very, very low pressures at a pretty wide temperature range. It doesn't really matter how many there are. So why don't we get all of this smelted up? We're going to put the gold back in. We need, how much do I have? 87, I think? Yeah, 87. So stick that in. It's going to be way too high pressure, but the temperature doesn't matter. So all we need to do is just pump out the gas at this point. And then I just need to split 37 silver off of this one. Sorry, not silver, gold. All right, lovely. That looks perfect. And now we just got to drop the pressure. Voila, perfect. Pop it open. There's our electrum. That was nice and painless. And now for the real ball ache. We got to do solder. So we're going to run some lead through this thing. And this one's a bit more involved. We've got to do... I think the temperature doesn't really... The temperature matters a lot. The pressure doesn't matter. So our pressure at the moment is fine. We've just got to cool this down a whole bunch. Down to 500 kilokelvin. Ugh. That's going to be a little bit of a ball ache. I think we might just make a larger batch, because that's going to sap up a lot of this heat. Okay, more solder than we will ever use, but there we go. We have it. We could use it now. Excellent. We have all of our base alloys except for steel. Speaking of which, let's go see how our mushrooms are doing. I have reseeded the one. It grew up to full, planted a seed, and then I planted the 4 in here, but we need to expand our operations very quickly. Even if we harvest all of this and just use the seeds to replant, we're only going to get 12 mushrooms, which gives us 12 hydrocarbon. We're going to need a hell of a lot more than 12 hydrocarbon to make all the steel we need, because it's a 3-to-1 ratio, so 3 iron to 1 hydrocarbon, so 12 hydrocarbon would make us 48 steel. Not great. Not great. Alright, the next piece of quality of life work I want to do, other than drinking some water, is to make ourselves some mining backpacks. These will really help speed up the mining work, and then we're also going to want a space pack, which is a slightly faster jetpack. In fact, I think it's twice the speed. So the regular jetpack lets you fly at 3 meters per second. The space pack allows you to fly at 6 meters per second. Oh, so I don't think I pointed it out, but yes, I did make the tool manufactory, just so that we could get some of these quality of life improvements done. I no longer need the road flares. We now have the portable light. This thing is amazing. I love it. It lives in our backpack and provides us with nice ambient light, and it's much more efficient than the one we start with. Now, we've got all this crud we're going to want to start recycling. There's a lot of things we just don't need, and in order to do that, we're going to want the recycler. And then, of course, we're going to want a centrifuge to turn that recycled material back into usable ore. We also need the recycler in order to make our hydrocarbon. You use it to shred the plants that you grow. Now, the first bit of steel that we get, we're going to dedicate towards making a grow light, because that will allow us to grow rice and wheat, which are much more efficient ways to do this. And for that, we're going to need steel and electrum. 5 grams of steel is not much, so if we can make 48 grams of steel, which shouldn't be difficult at all, then we'll be able to make a whole bunch of grow lights. They require a lot of power, so we'll probably need to expand our power grid first, and then we'll build a little secondary greenhouse. So this will be the mushroom room, and that'll be the growing room. We'll put windows, we'll use as much ambient light as we can, we'll try and work out an efficient way of using logic to save power in between. It's just, on Europa, you get enough light in the day that you don't really need the grow lights, but on Mimus, you just don't. You just don't. Like, your plants will die if you don't have a grow light. Okay, we'll stick our recycler back there. It's as good as place as any, right? And let's just run a line. The reason you want the mining backpack, by the way, is for this. Boom. There we go. What's that? Numbers 36 ore slots versus the the Chad 36 ore slots versus the Virgin 8 you get in your mining belt. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. But another problem we do actually need to solve first, before we start on any of that, is oxygen. This tank is now at 2.25 megapascals, meaning that we are, running out of AO2 really quickly. And what we need to do is just to recapture what we have in this room. So that's going to be a atmospherics unit, a vent, and a canister storage to put the gas in. So let's go get all that made. Alright, let's do our best not to kill ourselves when opening this door. We need to now do a whole bunch of very involved planning. So, I want this to be a fairly robust system. I don't want to have to move this late. I mean, I think we'll have to move it, to be honest. But I don't want to have to, reconfigure everything to make it work. We're going to start with this guy. We're going to put in these two filters. And we're going to use that extra battery right over here. And I want to suck up all of the unnecessary volatiles and pollutants that are stuck in this room. There's no volatiles, thankfully. When you weld, it's not a perfect burn, right? So you do end up with a little bit of volatiles escaping. But it looks like we actually got lucky this time. No volatiles were harmed in the making of this room. Okay, very nice. We do have a rather worryingly large amount of CO2 in here, though. 4.9%. That's enough to give you, toxicity in real life. In Stationeers, it's fine. I think you have to be above 10% for it to be a problem. And we do have filters in our suit blowing fresh air over our mouth. Much like that weird, the Dyson, headphone thing that's been popular. But what I'm going to do now is, since we do have some pollutant in here, I'm going to take this out and we're going to vent this to space. I want to delete the... Actually, there's an even easier way I can do this. It's just to pick this thing up. Deletes the gas. So as you can see, no more pollutant. There we go. It's been destroyed. Because I kind of want to use that portable filter as the CO2 filter for now, so we don't have to build and run an entire atmospherics unit. And what I want to check is, do I have space in my... this is now my paint storage cabinet. Let's put this away. And the other one is, do I want this to be a 3x3 or a 5x5? Because if this is going to be a 5x5, and I think it is, then I'd actually rather build the atmospherics out here for the oxygen. So that we have... So I don't have to move it again. Another way we could do it, though, is to have a crawl space. So we could have this sealed little iron room, right? That's our mushrooms. And then we could move it up by one, give it a bit more volume for the air. But then also we could run another wall outside and then have an inner running space where we could put all of our atmospherics. I kind of like the sound of that. I'm going to do that. Okay, give me some more frames real quick. You can also plan this expansion. So if it was going to be wall type 4, we're not really rich enough to make things out of steel just yet, unfortunately. But if we're going to do wall type 4, we would do it like this, right? So this would kind of be and this isn't going to be a pressure wall anymore. This will just be an internal visual wall. It won't have to actually hold any atmosphere, so I'll surround all this in frames. Alright, yeah, this will work. And it's also a lot cheaper than building with frames. Okay, unfortunately I am out of iron for the moment, so we can't finish off that upgrade, but we can get started on the process. What I want to do for now then is to put down the internal components of my oxygen mixing, and then we can sort out all the external stuff from the other side. Okay, in practice, what does that mean? It means I want a gas tank storage right over... Let's do it here, shall we? Give me some white pipes. We'll need one of those there. I'm going to need a pressure regulator. Just like this guy. Yep, pressure regulator going that way. I'm going to need a pressure meter. Perfect, so I can see the contents on that side. I'm going to need more white pipes. So pipes straight there, and then we turn down here, I want to say. Where do I want to put things? That's a good question. That's a great question, actually. Do I want the tank inside or outside? I think I want the tank inside the room. No, I want this space to be filled with hydroponics. So let's put the tank outside the room. Okie dokes. Then we're going to want our oxygen tank. It could just chill right over here. That way we can put a nice pressure valve, not pressure valve, so sorry, a pipe meter here, so we can see exactly what's going on from the inside. And I think we'll stick that right over there. We can also do something even cheekier, which is to give you a cheeky little spray paint. Boom, there we go. Alright, then we're going to want to pull gas out of that room and put it back in. So that's going to require our atmospherics unit. He's going to run gas in 2 places. Yeah, we're going to do it. That's an air conditioner. My apologies. Okay, this one's going to work just like this. So we're going to bring gas in from here.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls!
We're going to pipe it in to the back. We don't know what that gas is. In from here. We're going to pipe it in to the back. We don't know what that gas is, per se. Then we output the gas we don't want back into the room, and we cycle the remaining oxygen into this tank system here. Bada boom. Now, a small problem we have, of course, is that this is a portable tank, so it's got really, really bad pressure storage. So what we're going to want to do is set up a relief valve, which right now is just going to end up venting stuff into space, all the oxygen we don't need, but it will eventually vent into that interior crawl space, which will also have filtration and atmospheric set up for. So hopefully we won't lose too much. Okay, so vent number 1 is going to go right over there. And let's put this filter in. Yeah, can I get the second slot? Nope, that's the wrong thing. There and there. And oh, I've lost power. And then we need a back pressure regulator right over here. And what this is going to do is ensure that our pressure behind here never reaches more than the tank can handle, which in this case is going to be like, I don't know, say 9,500 pascals. Perfect. All right, this may be replaced with the tank at some point, or we might just keep this system as it is. I don't know yet. Yeah, that's going to be great. And I think we'll just have to turn this on and off by cutting the cable for now. Let's bring our tank over and wrench it in so that that becomes part of this network. And we can do our CO2 in a similar way. But I might want to get steel first to do that in a slightly more robust way as well. Okay, cool. Here is our whole setup. We're going to want to bring power from over this way to this junk.
Air tank low.
I'm also going to need to run these dirty, dirty pipes. So I think we'll pull air from the other side of the room and stick it back in from this end. That way we get a nice bit of a mix going on. So we'll put, this will be our input for our atmospherics, and then we'll put the output right here. So we get at least a little bit of a flow going, right? All right, now, and there's our tank. Cool. All right, stick it through. It's a little bit visible maybe, but whatever. We know this is not working. That's not going to work because it's not powered. Now, how much pressure do we want in this tank? Our air tank, we want 9,000 pressure. That will work just fine. Turn you on. And now we need to give it power. There we go, and we have some cycling going. So we should see some air being pumped in here. Yes, we do, and we should see the oxygen content in this room dropping. And yes, it is. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Very nice. So we're going to just quickly sever this for the moment because we need to add the transformer in between. This will allow us to turn it on and off. I want to set the maximum wattage here to just do it like that. Anything more than 5,000 and it will break. There we go. We can turn it on and start pumping gas into the space. Hell yes, dude. It worked.
Air tank critical.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Okay, very nice. Our canister is now being pressurized. And we live another day. And we have, we have oxygen capture. Excellent. Now, we are consuming oxygen, but we can just throw some ice in here, and that will solve that problem. And I just got the oxygen low warning, which puts us at 30% and CO2 at 11. Okay, cool. Nice. That worked. We are dangerously low to bottoming out that that battery, though. So we got one more airlock cycle in it, I think, before it's dead. But it is charging at the moment. But I think we're in a pretty good place, or at least a much better place than we were. I'm also going to leave this guy in here with these two filters plugged in. We'll sort the CO2 out at a later stage. I think for now it's doing just fine. Alright, nice. 7.9 megapascals of O2. Much better than the 2 megapascals we had earlier. And now we have robust oxygen recapture. Awesome. That is actually fantastic. I'm super happy with the way that turned out. Plenty of pressure space left in that tank. Great. Okay, now we are going to have to do CO2 recapture in here at some point as well. But not right now. I'd like to have 2 floors to this structure. So we'll probably end up putting a staircase going from here up there, and then we'll have a another floor up there, which is going to do all of our hydroponics. That'll be for the mushies. Okay, nice. But that's future planning. Let's go get an insane amount of iron. Okay, so maybe I got a little carried away.
Dude.
I have about, I don't even know, 2,000 iron over there, about 1,000 copper, a couple hundred gold, some silicon, some silver, some lead. It's kind of just a huge smorgasbord of goodness. Hold on. I've always wanted to try this. Yep. Dive into the money.
Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
Alright, but enough fun. It's time to play some Stationeers. We now have to turn this pile of goodness into a base. I'm going to build a whole bunch of solar panels over here as a roof. I'm going to build a ton of iron frames. This is going to take a freaking, lifetime to complete, but it is going to be worth it in the end, I hope. We're also going to seal in this for our larger mushroom area, and we can get started on some steel smelting. Let's go have a look at our mushies. We've had 1 harvest come in while I was doing all this mining, but there is still a little bit left to go. These guys are going towards seeding. That'll give us a further 12 mushrooms plus 4 seeds to reseed it. And of course, we've got our 12 mushrooms over here. Don't they look great? Okay, maybe if I don't throw them in the corner. That's the stuff. So we turn on our recycler, throw this in there, and we get biomass. Got 'em. Then we take the biomass, we stick it in this thing, we turn this lad on, and we get charcoal. This is our hydrocarbon. It's that easy. Well, since we got the stuff, we might as well make some steel. It is pretty straightforward to do. We just need to get between 1 and 100 megapascals and over 900 Kelvin. It's really trivial, actually. So what I'm going to do is preload the furnace. There's nothing in there right now. We're also going to need some iron. We've got 12 carbon, so I'm going to need 36 iron. Let me go grab some quickly. Okay, so maybe I got a little bit more than 36. It's a sickness. I'm unwell. I need help. Okie dokes, but let's go ahead and get this steel made. So there's our 36 iron. It's a 3-to-1 ratio to make steel. So 3 iron and 1 carbon will give you 4 steel. So in combination, they work. Now our pressure is fine, but our temperature is too low. So we just give it a little plop of gas for some fuel, and bada bing, bada boom. We've got 48 grams of steel. Now we're going to have to put this to very good use. We'll figure out a plan for it in a second. I think a battery is probably our first big get. Like a proper station battery or 2. Yeah, or maybe some, more elaborate hydroponics. I don't know. Maybe we make the stuff that makes the steel first. I don't know. Okay, I just work here. But I know what I do want to do is build out a much larger base while all of our mushrooms grow. And then I think we focus today on getting a mushroom. We get the shroom room fully developed, right? So we'll build a double-decker shroom room, and once we've got the shroom room fully developed, then we will be growing steel while we work on the rest of the base. We want to be growing at full capacity for as long as possible. So let's get that started. Maybe I don't want to print shoots. I want to print sheets. Also, I've had a bit of a change of heart here. My original plan was to make this wall and then build frames on top of it, but that's just going to make it harder to run plumbing. So I think what we're going to do instead is just build the frames on top from the get-go, right? I was a bit worried about, I don't want to consume too many resources. Oh no, my light. But now I'm kind of like, well, I mean, I think we're kind of in a post-scarcity society, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, since this is going to be our roof, let's go ahead and roof it in. We're going to need a lot of iron sheets to get all this welded up, of course, 18 to be exact. And then I might as well start building out the roof for the rest of this space, because we are going to have that as a 5x5. Might even make it a little bit bigger, make that crawl space too wide, make it a bit easier to walk around inside. Not much of a crawl space at that point, I do recognize. But, we do what we have to. Alright, give me some sheets. We're going to need a ton. Oh, and it's finally happened. My welding torch ran out of fuel. Well, if only we'd thought about this way ahead of time, huh? Man, that would have been helpful. Alright, let's just give it a quick once over. We've got the whole roof framed up. We still need to put the walls in on the sides, but I think for the most part, we're fully sealed in internally, right? Yes, we are. Okay, very cool. Very cool indeed. So let's go ahead and improve the volume in here. I do want to get some more stuff here, which is going to be floor gratings. Grating? There we go. This is going to be our second floor, and then we're going to need some stairs as well. Okay, dokes, we are inside. We don't have seed. Oh, we got one seed. We got one seed. We got 2 mushrooms for some reason. Don't know what that's about. But we can put our stairs in. I think we're going to have them right over here. Yeah, that'll work right there. Could do it this side, but I'd rather have all this apparatus available, because I mean, like, all this is going to do is interfere with that. So this is very scary, but now we are going to pop open the roof. The pressure in here is going to drop. The temperature should stay the same. Oh, let's hit a save just to be sure. Okay, and we aren't venting to the lack of atmosphere. Excellent. Okay, and pressure is still above 40 kilopascals. It might briefly drop below, which plants won't like, but we can fix that with some ice. Okay, so this is my grand master plan, is to do these, because the plants don't require light, which means that we can grow them up top on the hydroponics base without any trouble, I hope. Ah, and I am going to have to... How do you pick this up? Crowbar? No doubt. There we go. Alright, let's get everything placed. Okay, then we put the stairs in here, and we've got a second floor. Very nice, huh? Now, of course, it could be a little bit longer. Maybe we'll move it out by one, but this gives us some more growing space in here. Do you know what? In fact, I'm putting up some pipes over there. Why don't we just move this back by one? Now, that way we'll be able to fit in there a lot more comfortably. And we've already got the frames welded up top. We might as well just push this out by another level. And that way we can have even more space to grow mushrooms. Okay, I think it's time for stackers. It's getting a little bit too chaotic to constantly have to pick all this up, and this would simplify that equation quite a bit for me. So stackers allow you to, well, you guessed it, stack things. They pile stuff up in a much more organized way than the regular printers do, because they just kind of throw them on the floor. The stacker puts them into a stack and then throws them on the floor. Now that's civilization. I'm going to need 3 of them. Alright, let's fit these lads in. So we're going to have to clean up the wires, unfortunately, in order to do this. And that's going to go for pretty much everything we've got laid out here. This one should be fine. So we're going to need to move all this. You're going to have to move for sure. We're going to have to move this one, and maybe even this one. Okay, so check this out. This is the system. So a stacker goes in front up here, and we're just going to rotate it. So yeah, we can see the inputs, outputs on this side. Oh, and I think I am out of juice in my light. Let's fix that. So now, we need then to feed a chute from the back of the machine into the back of the stacker. Right over there. Right over there. And right over there. Don't get these confused with sorters. Those are useful, but for different things. Stackers stack things, sorters sort things. I know, it's a very complicated game, but promise, together, you and I, we're going to get there. Okay, there we go. So we've got them all set up. Now you just need to grab your labeler, and you just set the max stack to 50. Nothing you can print can ever stack more than 50, and if it stacks less than that, say, for example, the hydroponics base, it's only go to 5, then it'll just stack to 5 and spit it out. The big thing here is so that you don't just end up with pipes flying everywhere or whatever. You have stacks of 20 pipes flying everywhere, which is way more space efficient. Okay, we'll stick a canister storage back there, linked up to our water system, and that's just so that we can refill this, should we need to, and or drain it, to be completely honest. Okay, but there is our additional mushroom seed. So we now have a stack of 6, and we've got 12 more mushrooms we can pull up. I'll do that once we are ready to go, so they don't start decaying. We're going to want to start planning out our hydroponics base. Oh, and we can push this wall out, right? Let me hit a quick save. You never know. Yep, looks like we're fine. Nice. And then we've got space for our stairs. Hell yeah. Very cool. I just need to go get some more floor grating, but we'll put that back in a second. In fact, let me go get that right now so that that's done. We can run our water system up top with 7 racks up here. I think that is fantastic. That is like just the right amount. All right, let's wire it all in. Okay, then I just want a couple of handy pipe meters. in places where we can see it easily. Right over there would be great for water, and we can do another one, oh, I don't know, here? Yeah, just over there for now. Perfect. Okay, but now that we've got the 3 mushrooms, let's grab these and reseed them up there. We could turn these into steel, but I think it's more valuable right now to... whoops, I didn't mean to reseed that. Well, I guess it doesn't hurt to do that either. Okay, we've also successfully pulled all of the X out of here. There's a bit of nitrous because of our welding torch. That's what it's using nowadays, but it's not the end of the world, right? Okay, nice. Let's come back in with a light battery and sort out our flooring, because we've got to put down a few more grates. Okay, let's print up another 30 hydroponic space. That should hopefully be enough, otherwise we're in real trouble. And you can stack my frames. Okay, I'm going to seed some of my seed stock as well. Not all of it, just let's do 4. Just because that's going to significantly increase the speed at which we can produce more. And you know what, I'll leave 1 seed behind as an absolute, Hail Mary in case everything goes completely wrong. Although if it goes that completely wrong, we've got bigger problems, I guess. We can also move this back to where it should be, which is all the way in the corner. Okay, there we go. An almost perfect amount. I could fill this all up, but I think this is good enough for now. This is going to be a hell of a lot of labor once it's all ready. So I think we just do a little bit more tidying up around here, and then figure out what we're doing next. Now, as much fun as it would be to go absolutely ham on the base building right now and completely develop this idea, I think we should first focus on getting our power situation fully under control. And that means a hell of a lot of solar. Not the tracking solar, that requires steel, we're not there yet. Instead, I'm just going to build, I don't know, a couple dozen of these static panels. So, I mean, we could fit, what's that, 6, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42 panels here, each producing about 70 watts at their peak. That's going to give us about, just over 3 kilowatts of power, I want to say, or just under 3 kilowatts of power. That's going to be plenty. And then we can use our steel, the little bit of steel we've got, to build a station battery to harness all of that. I think that's going to be the way. And then we can also start putting our walls on here. It's going to be our crawl space. Let's wall it in. Want to see me weld 200 frames? Want to see me do it again? Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that again. Hell no. That's enough for one episode, that's for sure. We're going to deal with my lungs. They kind of cooked off a little bit. Turns out doing a lot of welding isn't great for your health. Okay, the last thing I want to do today before we wrap up is move this over to a heavy cable, sort out the wires so I can weld in this frame, close that off completely, and print out a few more of those solar panels. In fact, let's start with the solar panels right now because they take a little bit of time to cook up. Lots of copper, lots of gold. Well, it turns out we've got a little bit of everything. Okay, so how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. I got 18 solar panels. Not all of them wired up just yet. In fact, this whole front row is currently doing a whole lot of nothing. I spaced them out enough. I hope that the shadows won't interfere with each other, but we might have to move things if that is the case. Because, I mean, every little bit of efficiency we can get here is probably worth getting. It's going to be a tight fit regardless of what we do. Okay, cool. So this is going to power all of our current battery chargers, but we need a lot more than that, I think, to really survive this hell. We're going to need some large station batteries, and I think that's where we're going to spend our first lot of steel. We could have done it to do more grow lights, but I think we're actually going to be fine on the mushrooms for now. So I think we'll just subsist on that. We've still got plenty of food, so I'm not too worried. Let's instead get a kit battery. 20 grams of steel a pop. Not exactly cheap, but maybe that's just what we have to live with, huh? I suppose we can start with just 1, right? Yeah, we don't have to go all the way up. We can start with 1 and see how we do. Because it's going to be a while before we get more steel, because I'd rather use all of the mushrooms to grow more mushrooms, right? I'd rather reseed them than crack them open right now for the juices. So no, I think, yeah, let's be a bit more conservative, with our steel, and then we go crazy, man. Okay, here's our little station battery. Where are we going to put this lad? I'm thinking we actually just build a little platform up here for him. We don't actually need a platform, I guess, because he can just sort of hang out. but I'd rather have a platform. We'll have a little battery room over here, so let's get that set up. Oh, we're missing the sun! No! And nothing's charging just yet, so we're not missing too much, I guess. Okay, let's get some stairs to go up there, just because it'll look cool. Whoa, look at this. A stairwell? This is even legal? There you go, stairs with rail to the right. Sure. We'll take you to that height. And then to there. This will be how we get up to our batteries. It's going to be nice to be able to put some lights up around here at some point, that's for sure. And then, of course, we'll also get a gas fuel generator going fairly shortly, once I've enclosed this space. Oh, we could put it in the crawl space, actually. And adding another battery. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Some really cheap scaffolding later, and we've got ourselves a little platform up here we can work with. So we're just going to interrupt this wire. Comma, interrupted. And then we run it through a battery, and then we run it back down. So our first battery will be here, and we'll build a battery monitoring setup. Hold on, you need... So there's weld states now? This is beyond science. 4 iron sheets and a welding torch. Who'd have thought it was possible? That's definitely changed. Okay, and then a screwdriver. Allegedly. And it's working now? It's working now. Okay, let's start charging it. Hey, we got a big boy battery. Now, this battery is a lot larger than the other ones we've worked with. Like, I mean, it's kind of insane, the jump in capacity between those ones and this one. So we've got a lot more room to work with now than we had before. Alright, we just got to run that cable back down and around. And I think for safety, I'm going to spray paint this green. So we know this is the good wire. This is the wire that belongs to the people. Okay, cool. There we go. Big batteries are just charging from the small ones. And he has... well, it's going to take a little while for that thing to fully charge up. But now at least we have some powerful power generation, right? We can turn this thing off. Oh, it's going to be a good day when we never have to turn that on again. Then, using the tiny little bit of steel we have left, we also are out of copper in there. Let's add some more. I would like to make another large battery. Just to run the internal stuff, so we don't have to worry about that running out so much. 5 grams of steel, expensive, but I think worth it in this case. Then I want wireless power batteries for all of my portable lights, but that's more of a quality of life thing. That can wait a little bit. Excellent, there we go. We are now charging both from the large battery. So I should be able to stick you in here, and yes, it is working. Hell yeah, dude, very nice. Okay. Okay. The trials and tribulations of Largely Unemployed continue next time, though, everybody. Unfortunately, as much fun as I've had today, I'm just straight up out of time to record and edit this to get it out by Friday. So we are going to get done here. We did a lot today. We got a ton of mining done, like truly just a disgusting amount. We got our hydroponics fully and entirely set up. We now have a stable power production. It's not a huge amount, but it is a lot more than we had before. I mean, it's already empty. But I mean, before we couldn't even fill a battery, right, from a single day's solar power. So we've significantly increased our generational capacity. Technically 17-fold, so pretty freaking good, I'd say. We can probably shelve this lad now. I think this can just go ahead and live. Let's just give you a paint job. This could just go ahead and live in here for the best part of the next few hours, and this lad can probably get picked up and stored. We will, of course, be breaking it out shortly, I'm sure, to fix all the problems I've no doubt caused myself. But until then, I will leave you all with this sign-off. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please do leave a like if you enjoy the content, and leave a comment suggesting any changes you'd like to see. I'm still learning the game, you know, even after this many hours, and I'd really, really appreciate any input you might have. I'm going to go do some more mining. I'm going to completely cover the roof in solar before the next episode starts, and other than that, I will see you all in the next one. We're mostly just waiting for the mushrooms to grow. Cheers. And of course, a huge thank you to our channel members and patrons for this month, who quite literally keep the lights on around here. Your support means the world to me. To Guarantor Road, Frickin' Friendly Beaver, Lunar Shots, Pratham Baruch, Ragnar Skull Crew, Jan the Pan, Big Bird G, Sleep Deprived Sam, CCMD, Hendrik Eber, Depoyo44, Wedgie FRG, Rivo, LCG Canyon Sahar, Kelly Ananas, Adachi, Alan O'Selahair, Old Man Tater, Knee Cruncher, Riley David, The Senate, Couch Potato, King of Hell, Mel Roman, Charlie Weber, Officer C4, and Mermix. You guys all rock. See you in the next one. Cheers.